We can't be beat. You can't be beat. Won't be beat. Won't be beat.
Coming up on the Saturday Scouting Report, a thriller between Centennial and Norco is settled in the final seconds. Vista Murrieta remains undefeated, setting up a showdown with another unbeaten Murrieta Valley next Friday. Norte Vista working overtime for the win versus Moreno Valley. Santiago holds off Tony Burrell and Roosevelt. Heritage takes care of business at Temescal Canyon, and Linfield Christian dedicates their season to the life of a fallen Marine. That and much more coming up on the show. Brought to you by Paradise Chevrolet, your premier Temecula Chevrolet and Cadillac dealer, serving San Diego County, Riverside County, and beyond. The Saturday Scouting Report starts now.
They're here to say hello to you in a special way with the V-I-K-I-N-D-S for Vikings.
Thanks to the Moreno Valley cheerleaders for getting the show started here on the Saturday Scouting Report. I'm Pep Fernandez. We start the show at Norco, where the Cougars had mighty Centennial on the ropes, but the Huskies found a way to continue their dominance in the land of the Big Eights. The Cougars at home and looking to knock off Centennial. Early in this one, Norco goes to the ground game in a heavy dose of Joseph Ajibi. The future Duke Blue Devil picks up a big chunk of yards there, and then later on that drive, Colton Gerhardt rifles the touchdown pass to give Norco the 7-3 lead. Going the other way, I'm listening to my beats by Trey. Centennial's Trey Watson breaks free and beats the defense on the touchdown run. Huskies in front 9-7. Norco would regain the lead when Gerhardt calls his own number near the goal line. Can you hear me now? Good! He goes in for the score, 21-9, Norco on top. The Huskies close the gap before halftime. Robert Weber to Barry Ware. Beware, EPJ says, of Centennial. The Huskies kicking game would also be huge. Rigo Luna puts one through like an all-star from 49 yards out. Norco's lead shrinks to 21-19 at the half. Centennial's Austin Rankin cranks it up and takes this carry to the house in the third quarter. Centennial takes the lead, 27-21. Then it's Weber calling his own number, 40 yards to pay dirt, as Centennial takes a 35-21 lead. The Cougars head down the comeback trail. Gerhardt in for the touchdown. The Cougars cut into the Huskies lead, trailing 35-28. Then it's Gerhardt again, but Norco would not get the extra point, so the Cougars trailed 35-34. Fourth quarter, less than 9 minutes to play. Austin Bolton boots the 30-yarder to give Norco the 37-35 lead. Norco would get the ball back and looking to extend their lead, knock out the Huskies, but the Centennial defense comes up big to keep the Cougars out of the end zone, and they get the ball back. It all comes down to this. Rigo Luna from 30 yards out, 3 seconds left. It's all good. Centennial wins in dramatic fashion. Final score, 38-37.
Worried coming in, and they lived up to the billing. We thought it'd be a shootout. That's kind of what I thought, and it ended up being that one. Obviously, we all saw the field goal, which was awesome, and then one at the end of the half. But where he puts the ball in kickoffs and stuff like that, you know, the setup that one at the end of the half and different things like that has been unbelievable. He was awesome tonight. He was our MVP tonight. That's for dang sure.
Centennial on a collision course with Santiago. In the final week of the regular season, the Sharks had their hands full, though, with Roosevelt in week 7. The Mustangs, Jeremy Street with the score, and Roosevelt on the board first, 7-zip. The Sharks answer, Michael Darr, the 3-yard score. That ties the game at 7 in the second quarter. Later in the second, the Mustangs, Joseph Murriel, the 5-yard scoring scamper for the Mustangs, and they got the lead once again, 14-7. But Santiago evens the game on another Darr touchdown, 14-14 all. Third quarter, Roosevelt's defense coming up big time. The Mustangs force the fumble, and there's Justin Pearson just in time to scoop it up, and he goes 80 the other way, and the Mustangs are on top with that touchdown, 21-14. Would Santiago let this one slip away? Well, Joey Camarillo ties the game for the Sharks with a 17-yard touchdown, 21-21. Then later, it's Darr to Adam Brooks on the TD strike. Santiago goes up 28-21, and they hold off Roosevelt 49-35. Let's take a quick look at the HS Game Time rankings, and Santiago cracked the top 10, and they will likely stay there with the win. Centennial holding strong at number 2, but the top spot still belongs to Vista Murrieta. A pair of undefeated teams from the Southwestern League will meet up in Week 8 as the Broncos will battle Murrieta Valley. Both teams a perfect 7-0 this year. Vista Murrieta hosted Great Oak on Friday. The Broncos built a 37-14 lead at the half and more of the same in the second half. Stewart riding 65 yards to the paint. The Vista Murrieta Broncos riding a 44-14 lead. The Broncos defense also looking strong as usual, putting pressure on the Great Oak pocket. Fumble. Tyler Cook scoops it up, and that's the recipe for a touchdown. 51-14 Broncos. Now it's the Wolfpack with the ball. The snap gets away, and Tyler Van Dyke is there for the easy sack. Vista Murrieta's defense making plays, forcing another fumble. Brian Yupp is on patrol. Vista Murrieta rolls 65-14. Now let's check in on the Nighthawks at home for Murrieta Mesa. Rams quarterback Chase Chambers roughed up last week against Chaparral. So Parker Erickson seeing some action. Connects with Kyler Vasquez for the Mesa touchdown. Murrieta Valley would answer. Quarterback Andrew Blake goes over the middle to an open Hector Batista. So we're all knotted up at 7 apiece. The Nighthawks with the ball again. Looking for the end zone on this play, but Aaron Paisley makes the catch. Out of the end zone, crashes into the band director. A little shaken up, but he hung in there like a champ. The Nighthawks settled for a 29-yard field goal on that drive and a 10-7 lead. We got a Chase Chambers sighting. He enters the game for the Rams and goes right to work. Hits Gilbert Tovis. He shakes free, gives the Rams a 14-10 lead. Just before halftime, a costly turnover by Murrieta Mesa. They fumble the ball deep in their own territory, and the Nighthawks, Davis Day, recovers for the touchdown. Murrieta Valley goes on to win 33-30. Look for more on the Nighthawks matchup with Vista Murrieta and linebacker Mike Almodovar in the Monday morning Pep Rally Show. Now it's on to Chaparral. The Pumas at home for Temecula Valley. Check out the Golden Bears' Brandon Marchand. Hurdles over the defender. Marchand showing some hops. The Pumas' Skylar Seabold showing how to move the pile. Seabold still moving his legs, pushing for the paint, and the entire scrum crosses the goal line for a Chaparral touchdown. Later, Seabold has no problems on this run. 25 yards for the touchdown run, and the Pumas' lead begins to grow. The Pumas once again with the ball. Kellen Matava finds Chris Stratton. He's hit late, but he holds on for the touchdown, and Stratton lives right here on HS Game Time, and I'm still waiting for your rent payment, Stratton. Chaparral rolling on offense. Matava rolls out and finds big Andrew Madera. He does the rest, rumbles down the sideline to the house. All Chaparral in this one, but Temecula Valley did have one shining moment. Tim Rodriguez scoops up the Pumas fumble, and watch the big man go. The Golden Bears would get on the board, but Chaparral wins 42-6. That brings us to our poll question this week. Which is the strongest league, top to bottom? Well, the fans have spoken, and the Southwestern League gets the majority of the votes, 49%. The Big 8 League finished runner-up. Heritage and Paloma Valley will meet in Week 8. It's a growing rivalry and also has Sun Belt League title implications. The Patriots picked up a win at Temescal Canyon, and a huge shout out to Lisa Avney for hooking us up with the highlights. Thank you very much, Lisa. First quarter, Matt Bradshaw finds Evan Rodriguez for the big gain to move the chains for the Patriots. The Titans also putting together some nice runs. Tyler George finds a space and gets a couple of yards there. The Patriots have some good ones in their backfield as well. Jamal Morrow goes 50 yards on this jaunt, but Heritage is much more than just a great offense. They can bring it on defense. Middle linebacker Nick Avney making a strong stop on 4th down. No score after one quarter between these two teams. To the second, the Patriots give the ball to Jamal Morrow, 15 yards out. Get in there. Morrow gives Heritage a 7-zip lead. Temescal Canyon responds with a heavy dose on the ground game. Dawson Lindemann running the rock. He picks up some yards for the Titans, and then it's quarterback Sean Trimble calling his own number as the Titans march down the field. Temescal Canyon would finally get on the scoreboard when Lindemann crosses the goal line here, and the game is tied at 7 apiece. Here comes that Heritage defense I'm talking about. Ja'Cory Pace, the pick 6 house call. Heritage on top 14-7. Fast forward to the third quarter. Morrow breaks off this run, 65 yards. Go ahead and do the math right there. Heritage pushes its lead to 21-7 on the Morrow touchdown. The Patriots would cap off their scoring with a Logan Netter field goal. Heritage wins 24-7. Paloma Valley taking on Perris on Thursday night. Following a Panthers turnover in this one, the Wildcats would capitalize. David Solis, wham! whammy. Solis scoots 30 yards to the paint, 7-zip, Paloma Valley on top. The Wildcats putting pressure on the Perris quarterback. Michael Nalen corrals the QB for the sack. And then Paloma Valley back on the attack. It's my boy, Bebo. Brent Bohm hooking up with a wide open Matt Orzek. 14-zip Cats on homecoming. Later, it's Bebo to Solis on the screen, and he will take care of the rest. Scampers to the end zone for another Paloma Valley touchdown. Now to the second quarter, Bebo lets it fly and connects with CJ Parker on the touchdown strike. 28-0 Wildcats. Later in the second, call me old-fashioned, but it's not a game until you see the halfback pass. Solis to Marcus Page. You can't stop it. Paloma Valley rolls 49-6 your final score. Rivals Norte, Vista, and La Sierra will square off for first place in the River Valley League this Friday. The Braves coming off a dramatic win against Moreno Valley on Friday night. Pick it up in the first quarter. The Vikings, Secoania Palate, the big run all the way down to the Braves' 8-yard line. Then later in the first quarter, Justin Tyler gets the call in for the score for Moreno Valley, and the Vikes on top 7-zip. Still in the first quarter, Palate back punting for Moreno Valley. Check out Nuni Nashia. The great play downs the ball right there at the goal line. So Norte Vista pinned up, but they would break free. The quarterback, Justin Spillman, the long pass to Victor Gonzalez on the completion. The Braves march 99 yards all the way back the other way, and they cap it off with this Ulysses Leon touchdown. Game tied at 7. Later in the second quarter, it's Novi bringing it on defense. Sal Sena there on the play, and he's got the sack. Then later in the second quarter, just before halftime, Moreno Valley looking for a score. They go with the deep ball, but there's Jorge Manzo coming up with the INT for Novi. So it was tied 7-7 at halftime. Third quarter, it's Palate getting the call for the Moreno Valley Vikings. I don't always score touchdowns, but when I do, I run right at the HS Game Time camera. Stay scoring, my friends. Palate into the paint for the touchdown there. Moreno Valley took the lead 13-7 at that point, but let's fast forward all the way to the finish. Miriam Swanson caught it on her iPhone, and it's the big cheese. Francisco Cherez, say cheese, into the paint for the winning touchdown in double overtime for Norte Vista as the Braves win 34-31. Now it's on to the Inland Valley League. North on the road at Valley View, where the Huskies improved to 3-0 in league play. The North defense looking real strong against the Eagles. The Huskies hold off Valley View by a final score of 17-10. Next up for North, the Rancho Verde. The Huskies are tied with Arlington for first place in the Inland Valley. Now it's on to the Mountain Valley League, where Banning has made its case as a serious league title contender as the Broncos picked up a big win at Rubidoux this past Thursday. Rain pouring down for the big battle in the Mountain Valley League. The Broncos strike first when Darian McCall makes the house call, Banning up 6-0. But on the ensuing kickoff, Daniel Young fields it for Rubidoux, and he's gone. Young, the touchdown return, and the Falcons soar in front 7-6. Still in the first quarter, Rubidoux keeps it on the ground. They go to Young. Get in there. Rubidoux up 14-6. The Falcons coming up big in the first frame. Jalen Pontius hooks up with DeAndre Washington for the score. 21-6 Rubidoux after 1. To the second quarter, the Broncos battle back. Miguel Aspero finds the paint. Then later, it's the Sty Hairston experience. The Banning quarterback right there. 21-21, we're all tied up at the half. Third quarter, more from Hairston. Now wearing number 17 because his number 8 jersey was all ripped up a couple games back. The Sty Hairston experience puts Banning up 28-21. The Broncos defense also forced a number of timely turnovers. Rubidoux at the Banning 5-yard line, but the Broncos caused the fumble and McCall recovers. Banning would capitalize. Alvin Harper breaks off the long touchdown run, and the Broncos are on top 35-21 after 3 quarters. To the fourth, Rubidoux still hanging tough though. Washington slides in for the score, making it 35-28. Banning looking to hold off the Falcons. Anthony Ellison, he's in for the touchdown. And after every TD, the Banning cheerleaders doing jumping jacks for all those points.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Make it 48 jumping jacks when the Sty Hairston experience does it again. Rubidoux would score a pair of touchdowns late in this one, but Banning hangs on to win 49-42. The Broncos improved to 6-1 on the season, 2-0 in the Mountain Valley League. Next up for Banning, Notre Dame in Week 8. The Titans taking on Citrus Valley of Redlands at RCC. The Blackhawks came to play, ready with some big hits like that one right there. Then on offense, it's Citrus Valley's quarterback Dalton Douglas to Alec Cotier for the touchdown, and then back the other way. He's one of the top passers in the inland area. Paul Bradvica to Anthony McMaster for the touchdown. The Blackhawks, though, they go to the ground game. Stephen Harris finds the house on this carry for Citrus Valley, and so would Eric Moore as Citrus Valley beats Notre Dame 42-14. From the Ambassador League, Linfield Christian at home for Calvary Murrieta. A very special thank you to Damon Gallardo for the highlights. You're the man, Damien. A special moment before the game as Linfield Christian honored Marine Corporal Christopher Singer, who was killed serving our country in Afghanistan on January 21st of this year. The Lions have dedicated their entire season to Corporal Singer, who grew up in Temecula and attended Chaparral High School. Corporal Singer's uncle, Stephen Welty, is an assistant coach at Linfield Christian. To the highlights, Brody Myers playing some defense for the Warriors. The sack for Myers. Linfield Christian Jr. Dallas House put together another great game. The tight end and defensive end for the Lions is being recruited by some big Division I schools. I'm told Duke, Colorado, Arizona State, and Boise State all expressing some interest for the big-time recruit at Linfield. House playing well on both sides of the ball. Linfield Christian, though, they were trailing 7-0 when they get right back in the ball game when Alex Larson returns this kickoff 75 yards back to the house. Hey, I'll need a receipt if you're returning that, Alex. Game even at 7, but the Lions had a hard time stopping Calvary Murrieta quarterback Zach Chesser. He ran for 2 touchdowns and 174 yards. He also threw for a pair of touchdowns as Calvary Murrieta wins 45-7. The Warriors improve to 6-1 on the year. Week 7 is in the books. Let's pass out the awards.
Player of the Week.
Player of the Week has to go to Centennial kicker Rigo Luna. 3 field goals, including a 49-yarder, and more importantly, the game winner with 3 seconds to play. That's called coming up clutch. It's Centennial kicker Rigo Luna, the HS Game Time Scouting Report Player of the Week.
Play of the Week.
Where else but the home of the Braves, the finish at Norte Vista High School. Say cheese. Francisco Cherez scoring in double overtime to give the Braves the big win against Moreno Valley. The Braves are now 2-0 in the River Valley League thanks to the Big Cheese. We have got some great games coming up in Week 8, and we will break them down and have all your highlights on the next episode of the HS Game Time Scouting Reports. I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time.